Bringing the cinematic to the interactive, we get it in. Now, what do you get when you put Shadow the Hedgehog on the big screen? One of the coldest film intros I've ever seen. Now, what if we bring that cinematic flair to the video game world? Well, let's answer it. 2024 was what Sega called Fearless, the year of Shadow. Fans of Shadow the Hedgehog were treated to a year full of hype and new stuff, culminating in one of the top movies of the year. Also in the catalog of hits was a new spin-off game which featured Shadow as the central protagonist, Sonic X Shadow Generations, or Shadow Generations for short. This marked the first time Shadow was featured as a central character in a video game since 2006. In true Sega fashion, the music in Shadow Generations was edgy, in some ways epic, but always captivating. However, what other avenues could the score take, besides the grungy hard rock sound that is typically associated with the character? I believe an orchestral sound, with some rock elements, would be an amazing, equally impactful sound for Shadow. So, that's what we're gonna make today. This is how Shadow Generations should have sounded. What better place to start than the first level? We'll be looking at the level Space Colony Ark, Act 1. Shadow Generations is a parallel story to Sonic Generations, occurring on Sonic's birthday. Shadow is on business for Gun, tracing a mysterious signal to the Space Colony Ark. He's contacted by Rouge, and she tries to persuade him to come to Sonic's party. However, at that moment, Shadow picks up the signal trail again and heads off, marking the start of the level. Shadow makes his way through the space colony until he runs into the source of the signal, none other than Black Doom. Something doesn't add up, because Shadow defeated Black Doom back in his game some time ago. Shadow confronts Black Doom and gets pulled into the Doom Zone. After some cryptic talk of Black Doom's revival plan, Shadow makes Doom retreat and continues on, wrapping up the level. The Space Colony Ark Act 1 track is a remix of a classic track from the game Sonic Adventure 2, which was the game that introduced Shadow. That track is called Highway in the Sky, Final Rush. The Shadow Generations version of the track shares the core riff and chord progressions as the original track. At the same time, the new version has some notable differences and additions that bring a fresh feel to the track. This track brings such a feeling of nostalgia, and it probably does for you too if you remember the original track from Sonic Adventure 2. But I do like the energy that the producers managed to bring with the new instrumentation. I mean, that intro says enough. If you haven't heard the full track, give it a listen. Once Shadow confronts Black Doom, the music shifts to the Doom Zone track. This track is also a callback to a previous track from Sonic Adventure 2 called Vengeance is Mine, Radical Highway. Like the first track for Space Colony Ark, this track keeps the original guitar riff while adding some modern electronic flair. I remember the hype that surrounded Radical Highway from Sonic Adventure 2. And I like how Radical Highway is the penultimate stage of this game, displaying the most chaotic parts of the story and gameplay. Now, I'm usually not a fan of the electronic side of modern Sonic music, but hey, this one is a win for me. My goal was to give Shadow Generations an orchestral makeover. Now, of course, we still want to keep some rock and even electronic sounds in the mix. Starting from the top, I know I wanted a big chord opening. The music in the previous cutscene was based in C minor, so I made a C chord with orchestral strings and brass. After the chord opening, I was at a bit of a crossroads. I wasn't too sure where I wanted to go next, so I experimented. It did take a couple of tries, but I managed to eventually find something that I liked and felt right with the game. This cello and bass ostinato became the driving pattern for the A section of the track. Banking off of that, I had a guitar riff that I had come up with a bit earlier on that sounded cool enough to lead the B section. Bouncing between the A and B sections, I completed the first half of the level. Once Shadow goes to the Doom Zone, we make a tonal shift in the music. using the same instruments, but now exploring a different key and vibe. This part of the level switches between two closely related keys, B minor and F sharp minor. The brass is more pronounced in the first section, before eventually allowing the violins to play a cool arpeggio. Finally, we finish up the track in B minor, using the different instruments to play rhythms that complement each other. The drums stay pretty consistent, switching between a few patterns throughout the track. At the foundation, I use a drum and bass loop to cement the track's rhythm. I also stack a few different drum sounds to make the drums feel both solid and sharp. In the cinematic spirit, there are a few sections throughout the level where I create specific instrumentation set pieces that accompany a scripted part of the level. These, I'm going to keep a surprise. But pay attention to the missile launch, the initial confrontation with Black Doom, and making him retreat at the end of the level. I wanted to make something that would tie the different parts of the track together in an interesting way. So, now let's take a listen to the remake for Space Colony Ark Act 1 in Shadow Generations.
Won't let you get away.
Hey, my friend. Just wanted to come on and say Happy New Year. Peace and blessings to you and all of your loved ones. Hey, there's a lot going on right now, but I want to encourage you to never give up on your goals or your vision or your purpose. At the end of the day, if you give your plans and life to the Lord Jesus, Yeshua, you will prosper. I know it's been way too long since the last video. I would have had a video done a little bit sooner, but I did want to visit Shadow since we had the Year of Shadow wrapping up. We had the game, we had the movie, and I really like both of those. The next video is something like a third of the way done. Music is done. We just need to write, record, and then edit that one. So be on the lookout for that one. I'm really excited about it. I love how it turned out. So to get back to it, how should the first level of Shadow Generation sound to you? Leave your thoughts in the comment section and leave a like if you like the video. If you want to see the next video right when it comes out, consider subscribing as well. Now, if you want to see what a scarier King Kong game would sound like, check out the video that I did on the V-Rex level for the 2005 King Kong game up here. Hey, thanks for tuning in. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.